All right, guys, we are on to chapter 7 and 8 of Afternoon in the Amazon. Jack and Annie jumped out of the canoe. The rain was starting to fall harder. The monkey took off. He swung from tree to tree, heading up the riverbank. He screeched and beckoned to Jack and Annie. "He wants us to follow him," said Annie. "No, we have to find the special thing, then go home," said Jack. "He wants to help us," said Annie. She took off after the monkey. The two of them vanished into the rainforest. "Annie!" Thunder shook the sky. "Oh, brother," said Jack. He dashed after Annie and the monkey into the dark forest. The forest seemed surprisingly dry. Jack looked up. It was still raining, but the treetops acted like a huge umbrella. "Annie," called Jack. "Jack, Jack!" Annie cried. "Where are you?" "Here." Jack hurried in the direction of Annie's voice. Soon he found the monkey. He was screeching and swinging from a tree. Annie was kneeling on the forest floor. She was playing with an animal that looked like a giant kitten. "What's that?" Jack said. "I don't know, but I love it," said Annie. Annie batted the animal's paws. It had gold fur and black spots. What kind of giant cat might have gold fur with black spots? Think about it. "I'd better find out what it is," said Jack. He pulled out the rainforest book and flipped through it. "Oh, it's so cute," said Annie. Jack found a picture of an animal with gold fur and black spots. He read, "The jaguar is the biggest predator in the Western Hemisphere." "Forget cute," said Jack. "That must be a baby jaguar. It's going to grow up and be the biggest predator in..." "What's a predator?" asked Annie. "Grrr!" There was a terrible growl. Jack whirled around. "I want to hear your best grrr. Can you growl like a big scary cat? Let me hear." What do you think it was? Can you see it in the picture? The mother jaguar was coming out from behind a tree. She was creeping over the dead leaves, right toward Annie. "Freeze," whispered Jack. Annie froze, but the jaguar kept moving slowly toward her. "Help," said Jack weakly. Suddenly, the monkey swooped down from his tree. He grabbed the jaguar's tail. The cat roared and spun around. Annie jumped up. The monkey pulled the jaguar's tail again. Then he let go and took off. The jaguar sprang after him. "Run, Annie!" cried Jack. Jack and Annie took off through the rainforest. They ran for their lives. Chapter 8, Vampire Bats. "Wait," said Jack, panting. "I think we got away." Jack and Annie stopped running and caught their breath. "Where are we?" said Jack. "Where's the monkey?" said Annie, looking back at the forest. "Do you think the jaguar caught him?" "No, monkeys are fast," said Jack. Of course, jaguars are fast too, Jack thought, but he didn't want to tell Annie that. "I hope he's okay," said Annie. Squeak! Peanut peeked out of Annie's pocket. "Peanut, I almost forgot you," said Annie. "Are you okay?" The mouse just stared at Annie with her big eyes. "She looks scared," said Jack. "Poor Peanut." "Poor monkey," said Annie. She looked around the forest. "We'd better check the book," Jack said. He pulled out the book. He turned to the pages, searching for help. He stopped at a picture of a scary creature. "Oh man, what's this?" he said. Jack read the writing below the picture. It said, "Vampire bats live in the Amazon rainforest. At night, they quietly bite their victims and suck their blood." "Vampire bats?" said Jack. He felt faint. "Vampire bats?" said Annie. Jack nodded. After dark. Annie and Jack looked around. The rainforest seemed to be getting even darker. "Yikes," said Annie. She looked at Jack. "Maybe we should go home." Jack nodded. For once, he agreed with her. But what about our mission, said Annie. What about Morgan? We'll come back, said Jack. We'll have to be more prepared. So we'll come back tomorrow? Annie asked. Right. Now, which way is the treehouse? Said Jack. This way, she said, pointing. That way, Jack said, pointing in the opposite direction. They looked at each other. We're lost, they said together. Squeak! Don't worry, Peanut. Annie started to pat the mouse again, but then she stopped. Squeak, squeak, squeak! Jack, I think Peanut wants to help us, said Annie. How? The way she helped us in the time of the ninjas. Annie placed the mouse on the leafy forest floor. Take us to the treehouse, Peanut. The mouse took off. Where'd she go? Said Annie. I don't see her. There, said Jack. He pointed to leaves rustling on the ground. A streak of white passed over the leaves. Yes, there, said Annie. Jack and Annie followed the moving leaves. The streak of white appeared and disappeared. Suddenly, Jack stopped. The forest was still. There was no sign of Peanut. Where is she? Asked Jack. He kept staring at the ground. Jack! Jack glanced around. Annie was standing on the other side of a nearby tree. She was pointing up. Jack looked up. The tree house! Oh, whew, Jack said softly. She saved us again, she said. She's running up the ladder all by herself. Look! Annie pointed at the rope ladder. Peanut was climbing up one of the ropes. Let's go, Jack said. Annie started up the ladder, then Jack. They followed Peanut all the way up to the canopy of the rainforest. Okay, and that's the end of chapter 8. We have a picture and they're climbing up. You see Peanut? Okay, I'm going to stop right there.